Starters Golf, and in today's video we're going to be playing with some brand new toys. I've got the brand new Cobra Aerojet driver. So first of all, I want to say a massive shout out to eGolf Megastore for providing me with these three heads to give you a full comprehensive review on just exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to improve your game, if they're going to improve your game, and some of the big claims that Cobra are saying that this driver is going to help you with moving into the new season. So let's get stuck into these three and see what they're all about. Now you've got two of the longest drivers in the world using this here driver. You've got Kyle Berkshire and Bryson DeChambeau. Now I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to be getting ball speeds of 234 miles an hour like Kyle and 220 miles an hour like Bryson, but what Cobra are saying is that the new Aerojet driver will be faster and longer and hotter off the face than ever. Now for me personally, I have in the past used the F9, which I absolutely loved. Cobra have got a really good way of creating a really nice looking head, a mean looking head that kind of gives you the feeling that it is going to go long. You know, when you look down on a driver, you just think, yes, this one is ready to be smashed. So the new driver offers three different head profiles. So you've got the low spin, the LS, you've got the standard head, and you've got the Aerojet Max. Now the three tails, the three skirts is how they call it, are on three different levels. So it provides more spin or lower spin depending on the head that you get fitted for. That's why it's so important to go down and get a fitting. I was down at eGolf Megastore, they fitted me for the standard head, but we put a lighter weight in the back of the head. So normally for me, I'm a high spinning player, which is not great for the driver. So normally I'd be in a low spinning head, but they found for me that I wasn't quite launching it high enough. So I went to the standard head and we figured out a way to get the spin lower from a standard head. So it's really important that you do get fitted because it does make a massive difference. Right, so straight away we're gonna hit a couple of shots. Let's see what the numbers are saying on this driver because I'm quite excited to use it. I've had a Cobra in the past, always like Cobra, massively underrated clubs. Oh yeah, look at that one, first one straight out of the bag. Ball speed 165, carry 289 yards. For me, that is pretty standard. I often try and PB out at 170. And I generally get myself in around about 165 to 168. Carry distance for me, that's a really good carry. So 290 yard carry, obviously then plus your roll depending on where you're playing and the terrain, but we could be getting that to around about 305, 310. Launch angle is perfect, 11 degrees. And that's one of the things we got from the fitting is that the low spinning head, I was only launching it at 9 degrees. And the standard head with the standard weight to start with, I was launching it at 13 degrees. So the guys at eGolf managed to find me a nice combination of launch and spin. That's a pretty nice one straight off the bat. 2,139 RPM backspin, just lovely. And it went straight. So one of the key things you've got to find is when manufacturers are telling you you're going to go faster, longer, you've got to make sure that you're also going relatively straight. That one for me, a little bit lower on the face, a little bit spinny. Now, one of the key things on the new Cobra driver, we've already spoken about the aerodynamic head. One of the key things they're talking about is the new power hot face. Now, I've actually spun that at 2,500 RPM, which is a little bit too high. So I'm expecting to lose quite a lot of distance, but it still carry 285. So based on the previous shot, I've lost 4 yards of carry, just 4 yards of carry, but I've got nearly 500 RPM of more spin, which normally I should be losing a lot more than 4 yards. So the hot face technology, they're saying, is a lot more forgiving over the face. There's a lot more movement in the face. So when you do catch it heel and toe, which I do a lot, it's a lot more forgiving. And that's a great thing. Oh, that was ripped, or at least it felt ripped. Felt so nice off the middle of the face. And it's a nice place to be. Numbers wise then, 298 yards of carry. Back down on my spin to 140, so that's where I want to be. The launch angle as well, absolutely optimal. for how I was fitted and how we wanted to try and get the most out of this driver. And one of the key things is the new power bridge. It's kind of situated at the bottom of the head, and it's designed to give more speed and a better launch condition. So again, with the 3 heads, you will be able to find a setup that fits you. Oh, absolute ripper. Okay, so the 3 heads have got adjustability, like we see in most drivers, or pretty much all drivers today. I've got the standard head, so it's got 1 adjustable weight at the back of the head, so you can change the weight. I've got a 3 gram weight in the back of this. Standard comes with a 10 or a 12, so that obviously offers a little bit more height, so center of gravity further back in the head for more spin and more height. We've put a lower weight in this to make the ball kind of launch lower, to spin a little bit lower as well, so it kind of complements my golf swing. If we then come into the max and the low spin, you'll see the low spin, I've got 2 weights on the heel and the toe, further forward in the head, so the center of gravity is moved closer to the face, which helps lower the spin. And once you get fit, you can get the correct weights put in. So if you can go 12 grams or 10 grams or 3 grams, that's going to change the spin in which the ball comes off, but it's also going to help you in terms of draw bias and fade bias. And then we go into the max. So the max is the head that creates the most amount of spin. So a lot of golfers that struggle to get the ball airborne, or they need to keep the ball up in the air for as long as possible, because at the end of the day, the higher it's up there, as long as it's going forwards, it's going longer. So we've got a 12 gram weight in the back of this head. We've also got heel weighted section there as well. So for golfers that maybe get that slight carve, we've got a higher spinning center of gravity at the back, and we can also help try and calm down that little bit of left to right. The lofts as well, they vary from 7.5 to 10.5 degrees. So again, there's so many combinations that you can get in these heads, and sometimes it's a bit of a minefield. What do you do? What club do I go for? And that's why it's just so important to get a fitting, because to be honest, if I'd have walked into a store, I would have got myself the low spinning head. I'd have got myself in an 8 degree low spinning head. The launch would have been 7 or 8 degrees. For me, it would have looked great, but it wouldn't have been optimal. I would have probably been losing around about 10 to 15 yards, not only in carry, but in total distance. So making sure you get the correct makeup of head is vital. It's probably the best one yet. Most important thing with every single golf club you get, forget whether it's a driver, putter, wedge, irons, whatever it is the feel off the face. That came straight out of the middle. 292 yard carry, 2,200 spin, 12 degree launch. It just hit the spot, okay? It hit the middle of the face and it felt phenomenal. I've had this out on the golf course already, and over the course of 18 holes, I have used the toe and I have used the heel, not on purpose, but it happens far too regularly. And yeah, you do feel the face twist, like you would do for every single head, but one of the key things for this so far is that I haven't been losing massive amount of distance, and that's one of the things that is most important to me, if I'm honest. No matter what level of golfer you are, we always want distance. If I said to you, you can hit the ball a bit shorter and go straighter, I feel like the majority, me included, will say, no thanks, I'll go longer and a bit more offline. So we're always looking to see how a golf club reacts when we miss the center, and how far the golf ball goes as a result. So the performance, the feel of this is absolutely awesome. And again, I do have a little bias towards Cobra because I have used the F9 in the past and absolutely loved it. I love the sound, the feel, and the weight of it. What they've done differently on the Aerojet as well is they made the crown a little bit thinner, so 30% thinner. So it's a carbon crown, and you definitely feel that it's lighter on the way back. And that's kind of a weird feeling, to be honest, because here I can't really feel the club as it's kind of moving away from where the golf ball would be. So it's a nice light feeling, which when you've got a lighter head, well, should deliver a little bit more speed. Some golfers out there may struggle with the feeling that it's a bit too light because you don't know where the head is, but it is something you do definitely get used to. And I think, again, lighter generally equals a bit faster. Oh, a little bit bottomy again, but most importantly, we haven't lost a massive amount of distance. So you've seen from this review already, I don't hit the middle of the club face every single time. I'm not super consistent. My balls do go relatively straight, which is nice. So even when I miss the center, the face is giving me that little bit of forgiveness that I desperately need. Now, a couple of bold claims that Cobra have come out with, which I'm going to test, okay? So stay tuned to future videos because there's going to be a lot more club reviews coming to the channel, but I'm going to be testing their bold claims because they say very boldly that this driver is faster and longer than TaylorMade. It's faster and longer than Callaway. I'm going to test that because those are two very fast drivers. The Stealth and the Callaway Rogue, two very, very fast drivers. It reckons it's faster. We're going to test it, so stay tuned to the channel in the future, see if Cobra's bold claims are actually correct. Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you've got any questions on this club, I think I might have the answer, so do drop in the comments section below. Also, subscribe to the channel, follow me on my social media platforms as well. Once again, I want to say a massive thank you to eGolf for providing me with these drivers. There's so many more reviews to come, so do stay tuned. See you in a bit.